In case you were asleep at the wheel, Zach highlights to us what happened last week in part 1. We finally see where the damage was done to the car, and they are leaving nothing out there.
Well, the bolt snapped on the bumper. I'm estimating about 40 bucks.
How much for the fender?
Let me put it this way. If you have a rich uncle, now's the time for him to die.
They aren't even leaving out the part that we can clearly see that is not Lisa behind the wheel, but some crash test dummy. It looks like her hat is attached to Mr. Stickman. Maybe Lisa is really Claude Rains and has discovered the superpower of invisibility. In reality, the only thing that is actually wrong with the car is, good lord, the hood is up. Even my grandma could fix that for them. Our episode begins with Zach and Slater assessing the damage, but for some reason it looks like it was involved in a wreck on the set of Fast and the Furious than it did on the recap.
Great. Hey, Screech, is the oil line leaking? Not anymore.
Were those drunken gnomes taking it out for a late night cruise that we don't know about? Ironically, they let Mr. Fuck It Up Screech help out. Now I see why the car looks like it's been in a demolition derby.
Hey, this doesn't look good, Zach.
Slater estimates the damage to be around $600, and a stupid comment can't even protect Zach Morris from mayhem like Screech for what Zach has in store.
Maybe we could sell Screech to Exxon.
We return to the Max, and Lisa has to give us 2 scoops of the obvious by stating everything that happened in part 1.
Well, Slater lent Eric Mrs. Belding's new car, and then when Zach and Screech took a picture of me driving, the flash blinded me and I crashed. It was so exciting.
I doubt we could come down with amnesia in 2.5 minutes.
What?
Apparently, Lisa is pretty ecstatic about being involved in a motor vehicle accident.
Well, Eric said not to worry because Zach and Slater will get what they deserve.
Zach and Slater have some explaining to do.
Get real. You weren't distracted. You're just a lousy driver. Jessie is upset over the whole thing and seeks out Zach and Slater. Eric enters, and Lisa invites him to the MC Hammer so that she can finally touch him.
MC Hammer tickets. You really want to take me? Oof, lady, you got yourself a date.
Hammer time!
Oh, great, but this time let's take a cab.
Back at Bayside High, Zach, Slater, and Screech formulate a plan to raise money for the car by throwing a fake lottery.
Quick, buy a ticket to Bayside's official secret math lottery. The lucky winner will get $600. All right, yeah.
Their plan is to throw a rigged contest that is in Screech's favor.
Screech, congratulations. You're gonna win the lottery. Congratulations.
I am? Wow. Now I can afford to buy that jacuzzi for my turtle tank.
Where the winner will be announced in Mr. Sack's algebra class this afternoon. Some guys have all the schemes because most people ask God to help them win the lottery, and he responds with this. Hold a minute. Wasn't Mr. Sack's class the last class Zach and Eric went to in the morning? Which means their class is over. Is Zach suddenly in an Algebra 2 class? I'm surprised they hadn't put their guidance counselor on notice. That's math overload. I'm surprised the math teacher, Mr. Sachs, didn't stop when he heard the unmistakable thud. Another brain had imploded. Jessie enters in the hallway and demands to know what's going on. Zach
Protecting your reputation, Mama. Do you want the whole school to hear you call me your curly Conan?
Morris and Slater notify her about her adoring stepbrother has threatened to blackmail them and tell her that everything is okay with Mr. Belding's car.
Slater, I thought you took care of that.
Hey, I did. Just not well.
Mr. Belding is all jazzed about playing his new CD, Bo Jackson Sings the Blues, in his new CD car player.
Oh, it's one of my favorites too, sir.
Yeah. Hey, Bono's Blues.
As outdated as this episode is, do any one of you know who Bo Jackson is?
Come on, let's go to the car and we'll listen to it on my new CD player.
No.
Well, he was born out of something out of an urban legend, the only individual I know of predating Deion Sanders, whom showed elite skills in multiple sports of football as well as baseball that makes him go down as one of the top greatest athletes of all time.
No, sir, now is not a good time.
In terms of singing, you know you're dealing with a true lack of creativity when a standard CD title. Thank you for that, Bo Jackson. After all, I, for one, always love it when the artist reminds me I'm listening to their album.
Well, why not?
So yeah, Bo Jackson should have stuck to simply knocking down defenders instead of crying about his career-ending football injury.
Well, you see, it's not ready, sir. We weren't expecting you until tomorrow.
Sorry, Bo. No shit about singing. The boys do their best to keep Mr. Belding at ease, to not seek out the car, and pray that there is a low of chance of shenanigans in the episode forecast.
Well, actually, sir, there are just a few little pieces missing.
Yeah. You see, sir, the car is is Japanese.
Right.
And the CD player, well, it's German.
In order to make them compatible, we had to order a Geheimdorfen Flaggen.
We return back to Mr. Sachs' algebra class, where Zach Morris announces he will soon be announcing the winner of the lottery.
Here's how we're gonna pick the winner. Mr. Sachs will pull an algebra question from the boxes he does every week. The person with the last 5 numbers of the answer will win $600.
How is a winner going to be determined that way? Remember, you are in a math class. What if Mr. Sachs reveals an answer that is less than 5 digits? I could throw in an algebra curveball and say, well, what if it's a variable? Seriously, NBC writers, you never took algebra? Then how can this contest be possible when you're dealing with the study of mathematical symbols and the rules of manipulating those symbols, thus preparing to deal with constant change? Change that makes for answers of 5 digits nearly impossible. Mr. Sachs comes in for a rousing cheer. Hey, even if you do understand it, it's just not that funny.
Wait a minute, there's gotta be some sort of mistake.
This surprisingly has Eric and Lisa being quite rational about this. I'm guessing Mr. Sachs thinks algebra is the hottest new class in town for the teen world and thinks he's turned his class into the next Mr. Holland's opus.
I know that most of you don't belong in this class.
Well, sir, you're famous spreading. Everybody wants to be a part of your incredible Stump the Teacher exercise.
Well, that's very flattering, class. Shall we get on with it?
Hey! Yeah!
In the boys' bathroom, Zach goes so far as to have Screech commit a federal offense by setting off the school alarms.
Fire drill! Fire drill!
This causes Mr. Sachs' math class to leave so that Screech to switch the boxes with the rigged answers so that all answers matches Screech's ticket. It's a funny scene in a way, but stupidly executed, since anyone worth their salt and a good sound knowledge of algebra should know that the answers they seek are not something that can be found off a standard carnival ticket roll.
Ready?
Apparently, in the history of Saved by the Bell, the boys doing the number 2 are always the first to perv on the inside scoop.
Well, isn't this interesting?
Confronted by Eric, and he doesn't want to give up the money because he has no concept of personal safety.
Yeah, so what's your point?
I could forget about the whole thing. If this time you lent me your car to drive my girl to the concert.
Not only does Eric want the money, but he wants them to fix up the car so Lisa can take a ride on his Hot Rod 409 rocket to the moon.
Listen, she's not your girl, punk. The only reason Lisa went out with you is because I bribed her.
Get out of here, she likes me.
Oh, yeah?
To avoid having Zach's botched attempt at getting Eric expelled for leaking out further, he saves face by saying it was all Lisa's idea to set him up.
Why don't you ask her where she got front row tickets to the MC Hammer concert?
He's kidding, isn't he, Slater?
Nope.
True, we know the real story, but we couldn't help but to keep tuning in on weekdays on TBS because we can't get enough of Zach's lying ass. Eric confronts Lisa at the max, and she confesses she was all in on it and gets all pouty that she feels like a horrible person for not liking his unlikability.
Yes, but you don't understand.
Oh, I understand, all right. When you told me you liked me, that was a lie, too. Lisa, I never want to see you again.
That's a sad face. Looks more like the sad face who peed while sitting on Santa's knee.
Yes, but when I took the tickets, I didn't like them. And now they don't like me.
We now enter the Bayside auto mechanic class garage where we meet Mr. Soninsky, the auto mechanics teacher. He assumes what he has presented to him is a wreck waiting to be chopped up and worked on.
Usually we don't get a car to the end of the year, but we takes what we can get when we gets it.
Eric adds more flavor to the situation and encourages that the whole car get torn apart so they can learn about all the individual parts that make up an automobile.
Don't do that, please don't do that.
Why not?
Because it hasn't done anything to you.
Screech, the little beaker of the group, encourages this not to happen, but nobody cares to listen to his meeps, and they go through with the dismantling anyway. Zach and Slater later return to find the car all fucked up.
I don't think so. Oh, man.
How did this happen?
They find Screech later buried under a set of Firestone tires, and he admits Eric was behind it all and he helped him.
You should have been here when we took it apart.
Wait a minute. You helped take it apart?
Whoa.
They bury him back and hoping the next car mechanic can take him in and realign his brain.
Guys, honest. I'm trying to stop him. Guys, it's dark in here. Guys.
Back at stepbrother and stepsister's house, Jessie tries to reason with Eric the truth between him and Lisa and everything else going on.
You started the whole thing.
And I finished it too.
What are you talking about?
I had the shop class take apart Belding's car. Mr. Sonsky's a pretty cool guy, even gave me an A.
He confesses what he did to Mr. Belding's car because what's mine is mine and what is mine is not for Zach and his musclehead friend to give to me, for it's all about being the top dog.
Did what?
They'll never get it back together by tomorrow. And that'll teach him to mess with me.
They could be expelled. Don't you care about who you hurt?
Nope. Just as long as it's not me.
Jessie dishes out some feminism douchebag justice and tells him if she wasn't having such an off day from hitting him with her Pat Benatar's best shot, she would have laid him out.
You are a selfish, inconsiderate excuse for a human being. If I was a guy, I'd punch you out.
Yeah, too bad you're just a chick.
Just a chick?
Then he does what no other man should call a feminist. That's if they want to get out alive with their nuts intact, and that is a chick. Woo! She goes all bipolar on his ass, laying him out with a Looney Tunes shiner.
I can't believe you just did that.
You know, I was really excited about you coming here. I never had a brother, and I thought we could have fun, be close, and do things together. I tried to make us like a real family, but you wouldn't even give it a chance. And you know what? I don't want a brother anymore.
We return to the Max, and Zach and Slater have a lover's spat over his inability to properly assemble a full automobile in no less than under 24 hours.
Guys, I'm sorry. It's no use, okay? I can't put the car back together.
But Slater, we were counting on you. I mean, you're our only hope.
As they guilty prepare for their sentencing with their hands covered in Pennzoil, they now discover that their best defense was for Eric to let himself be gone in 60 seconds with the car, and that would have saved Mr. Belding's car.
I don't need this pressure. Look, I'm the captain of the wrestling team and the football team. I've got great dimples, good teeth, and the biggest muscles in school. Come on, isn't that enough for my friends? What's all of that?
Well, that's if he hasn't skipped town by then with a brand new paint job.
I'm sorry, Slater. Just chill out.
No, you're too wise to entrust your instincts to Screech with those beaker eyes that resemble science teachers when students aren't doing their experiment right.
If we play the CD real loud, Mr. Belding won't notice that the windshield, the drive shaft, and the doors are missing. Look, I'm just trying to lighten the emotional load here.
That is not how the Force works. With no way out, they just decide they will just confess the whole truth to Mr. Belding, but before they do, Mr. Belding can't contain himself and is hopping the Bo Jackson CD.
Tell me later.
I can't wait. We can.
Believe me, Mr. B, Bo is not one of the B sharps, for B knows how to take down his whole chorus line by a whole octave. It's just when Zach and Slater are preparing to be on the after-school community service chain gang, Mr. Belding reveals the car is in pristine condition.
This is a surprise.
Oh, boy. We're dead.
Now, don't be too hard on us, sir.
Wow.
Nice save that the prop department kept a model that hasn't been wrecked by Paul Walker yet.
You did a great job, Slater.
I did?
Yeah.
Mr. Belding then has to excuse himself, for he must go take a mice problem in the meatloaf.
Either mice on the loose or the meatloaf has legs.
I'll play these CDs later. Thanks, boys.
Yuck, talk about going in there raw. Well, they say meat is murder, and soon that mice will just be another victim of salmonella.
Wait a minute. If I didn't fix it, and you didn't fix it, then who did?
They find Eric with the black eye working underneath the car.
I did.
Eric admits his antics were the cause of, you guessed it, not fitting in a Bayside, and therefore wants to take Jet on back to New York.
I like putting cars together.
Hey, look, you didn't have to do this.
I know.
He hands them back their blackmail tapes and returns back to Jessie's house to pack.
Guys, I don't fit in around here, so I'm moving back to New York. Good for you.
Our tapes.
I thought you said you had 20 of these.
So I lied. Would I lie?
Would you like? Come on.
Well, having a heart that's 3 sizes too small must be really convenient for maintaining friendship.
Shalom, Zach. See you, Curly Conan.
Did you say that out loud?
Hey, take care of my sister.
You got it.
Eric returns to Jesse's house, and Jesse is thrilled he fixed Mr. Belding's car.
Who squealed?
What are you doing?
Giving you your room back. I'm going to New York to live with my aunt. She's trying to have a good right cross.
Apparently, in the Saved by the Bell universe, your friends or those whom want to welcome you in as a friend can give you a full pardon on the crappy things you did in the first part are suddenly wiped from their memory.
I'm sorry I hit you.
Me too. It hurt. You know, now that I'm leaving, it should make all your friends happy.
Don't be so sure about that. Guys.
Hey, what's up, Eric?
Lisa kisses Eric goodbye and asks him to stay since she is always seen dateless next to Screech on the date, and it helps keep the resident dumbass off her back.
Yeah.
Me? Well, the truth is that if Zach hadn't bribed me, I would have never gone out with you. But I'm glad I did because I really got a chance to get to know you.
The episode concludes stepbrother and stepsister fermenting and bonding over a new relationship, assuming Jessie murdered him, buried him right next to Mickey and Nikki, creating a false ally, Nomi, Malone, and hightailed to Las Vegas for one drug-fueled fugue state of a summer.
But you had to leave everything. I mean, your house, your friends, your school. I don't know what would happen if I had to move to New York.
Every mugger would leave town. They'd be afraid of your right cross.
Would you give it another chance?
You really mean it?
I do.
You know, I never wanted a sister. But it might not be so bad. I'll hang around for a while.
Now get out of my room.